right, let's see. Okay, looks like we're live. It is Friday, October 6th, 2023 at 6:01 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Currently standing, where am I standing actually? Betty, which is, I think, Lunara 5A, 5C, 5C, yeah. I've been continuing my surveying today. Since we since I last streamed, I have recorded the data on Cheyenne, Maheo, let's see what else, Groombridge, Kumasi, and I'm currently working on Lunara. My next systems are going to be Ursae Majoris and Ursae Minoris. Along with that, I've been continuing to work on all the data sheets that I've been putting together, different ways to actually search the data that I've been compiling from these surveys. Obviously, I also released the lore video today on Fallout 76. Next lore video is going to be on Starfield, specifically on the Xeno Warfare program of the United Colonies, and specifically about their facility on Crete. Like I think I've said this before, I put this off until I could find the species involved in their program, and I believe that I have found them, or at least good enough representations of. There's only one species that I don't know in particular because they never actually listed its name. It's a species of spider that cocooned the people at the facility, and so I've not found that specific spider species, but I have found a good dozen spider species in my time exploring the western end of this area. But yeah, again, I've not found anything that cocoons anything, but I have found the Ashta of Aquila. I have found these specific what are they called? Arthropods of Crete itself. And along with that, I've also found the Terramorphs. I do want some more information about the Terramorphs, so I am planning on completing the, what's it called? UC Vanguard questline. I believe that that is where the Terramorph lore is located. If that's not right, then then I'll just waste a few hours tonight working on that. But regardless, I'm gonna do whatever I can to make sure that by Monday, when I put out that lore video, I've got all the information available on their facility here in the Narian system on Crete. So I'm gonna show you quickly. I've been working on changing around how I show this stuff here, so I can put this down here. Oh, lost it. There it is again. Okay, so I've started actually organizing organic resources by their rarity. So you can see here, common, uncommon, rare, exotic. And the last one here, where there's not enough space to actually type it out, is unique. Now, I've seen from vendors on planets that there are more varieties of unique minerals and organic materials than I have currently shown. And so when I find those, I will also, of course, add their location. Now, the interesting thing about the unique ones is, from what I understand, they are unique to specific planets. So in this case, Rothosite, which I've talked about before, is unique to Carinae 3A. And in the same way, High Tinsel Spidrion, or Spidroin, is endemic only to Linnaeus 2. So if you're looking for those things, that's where they are. I have found some interesting other species today, and so I don't see anybody in the chat right now, but that was the way it was last week, and then I was informed after the fact that there were people in the chat. Oh, here's another little bug. Neon does not typically have this dark gray color. I don't know what exactly is going on with this, but occasionally with elements I get a different color in here. I've had that happen with vanadium as well and dysprosium. But anyway, why don't I back out of this? And let's see. Interesting species I found. We're specifically here on Newton, or in Newton, and I think Newton 3 was the planet in particular. Pretty sure. I mean, there's only 3 species of animal life here. That's what I remember being. The interesting thing is that 2 of the species are invisible. Which is what led me to tweet out a picture of them and say, no, it's not a joke. There are 2 species on this planet that are actually invisible. Let's go ahead and check this out. I don't know. This doesn't look like where I found them before, so it could be that they were endemic to a different biome on the planet. Let's see. I don't see anything in particular that's all that close. I see a few plant species. There's one. I recognize the outline. Note that you can see it with the scanner, but as soon as I drop the scanner, it goes away. It's because it's got camouflage. It's a hunting shield shell with the ability of camouflage. Now that thing won't attack us unless we get a little too close to it, so I'm going to keep my distance. But again, that is only one of 2 species on this planet that's invisible. This, again, is Newton 3. There's some more stuff. No, it's just waves from the gas vent right there, not from a species. Let's see. The other one's a very large beetle-like creature. When you find them on Alpha Tyrna 8C? 8C, I think. They are a source of lubricant. I don't remember what they offer here. Ah, there they are. Nutrient. And when they're dead, they do sometimes, they are sometimes visible. But this is the other species right here. The herding blister crab filterer. Let's see if we can find any of them alive. It's just, it's bizarre to see these 2 species fighting each other like this. He just killed them. They're still, they're there. They've not shown up because I think those other ones were dead when I showed up. These ones died when I was over here, so they're still camouflaged. It's just kind of bizarre stuff like that that I love finding in Starfield. Just utterly strange species where they're actually invisible. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else has found stuff like that, but just to be clear here, I've explored all the systems to the west of this line, basically. Yeah, Kamasi I've explored. And again, I'm exploring Lunara right now, so anything that in west, I have completely explored. This stuff out here. There are, I'm about 40%, 45% of the way through. Hey, how you doing, Lot of Mercy? Just talking about the exploration of the systems that I've encountered so far and these strange species therein. Let's see, playing Starfield in sickbed. Oh, that's too bad. I hope you're not doing too bad. Let's see. Why don't we check, where was another one that another interesting world? Groombridge. Groombridge has, this is one of the interesting things here. Groombridge's, Groombridge 8, this gas giant, has 3 worlds with oceans on them. Like, this is the first time I think I've seen this. It's not impossible. I've seen one world with an ocean circling a, oh, jeez, that sucks. You know what's crazy is that's the second time this week I've talked to somebody who has had crazy eye issues. One of my coworkers had RSV. I think that's what it was in his eyes. Anyway, Groombridge 8C is got a breathable atmosphere on it. I'm glad you liked it. And then right here we've got Groombridge 8A. This is one of the more interesting worlds I've found, and Bethesda, or not Bethesda itself specifically, but one of their subgroups, Starfield, with their Twitter, their social media handle, whatever it is. They are running this little contest right now for like the best screenshots. Enter you into a contest to win a AMD CPU GPU combo thing. So I submitted a photo that I took here on Groombridge 8A. Why don't we go ahead and let's just land somewhere. Let's go. Let's see what's that. Mountains. Let's go for the tropical forest here. I've started exploring systems in reverse order, typically going outermost to innermost. Well, it's raining, so it's not quite all that beautiful out here right now. But there are these interesting species. They're herding long-necked herbivores. These things over here, the flocking shroomhead grazers. Those are fighting pack tintabeards. Oh yeah, there's some more spiders hunting bright cages. Unfortunately, this system, it has some interesting things to it. There is one planet that has a double exotic on it. I think is it this one? Which planet is it? There's one planet where there are 2 exotic elements on it. Am I thinking of Groombridge, or am I thinking of... No, I think I'm thinking of Kumasi. Where is it? Kumasi has one planet here that is actually quite interesting in terms of resources. There it is. Kumasi 2, which also has an enormous amount of flora and fauna, has palladium and plutonium. So not a bad planet if you're looking for exotics. Now, unfortunately, neither this system nor the previous system, Groombridge, has any exotic organic elements to it. Yeah, no, yeah. The bright cages are creepy looking. And yeah, it's funny. I saw a scorpion last night. I was walking my dog, and like scorpions are bizarre. They look like something out of fantasy, and obviously they've been used as in fantasy a lot. But there's just something about them that just does not seem like it belongs in the natural world. It's just like, so it's like a crab, but it also has a stinger. It's like, it seems like we're talking about like a chimera here. You've combined multiple animals in order to make this thing. Let's go to Kumasi 2. I'm looking for more systems that have farmable resources. In fact, I have a planet where I've found a resource that I've not yet tweeted about. Let's see. Or X-posted about, or whatever it is these days. But yeah. So, Kumasi 2, again, we've got, if you... look at that. Plutonium and palladium. So, very interesting stuff here. I do have another colony on a world that's full of radioactives. That's Eridani 3, I believe. I've not yet really developed this colony. But, yeah, Eridani 3. I've got one that is a colony that's smack dab in a spot where I get uranium, vanadium, and plutonium. Again, right there, you can see the colors aren't showing up properly for plutonium or vanadium. I don't really know why it keeps doing that. But, okay. So, another planet with interesting resources on it, or good resources to get, is Narian 2, or Sumati as it's also known. Let's go ahead and land somewhere where there's sunlight and plant life. I gotta just jump to the system first, I guess. Oh, there's mountains. I might be landing. I don't know if it's going to just jump me to the system or if it's actually going to take me down to the ground. Okay, onto the ground. This might not be a good place for this specific species. I don't even remember actually which species it is. It is a type of plant species, though. Is that it right there? No, that's nutrient. Going back scavengers. Ah! Nope, those things provide hypercatalyst. Okay, why don't I just take you to my colony here? Nope, don't travel to this specific... There we go. Sumati Outpost 1. Okay, so... as you can see, I've started doing a significant amount of research into power production and resource extraction, to where I've now got much more capable equipment for that. But if we head over here to this greenhouse, you can see that I'm currently producing hypercatalyst, and all it takes is water. This is one of the exotic organic resources that, combined with, what is this producing again? Tetrafluorides, is... sent over to the port right over here, and then from the port it travels all the way over to Nira, and let's go to Nira 1, Nira Outpost 1 I should say. Oh yeah, yeah, I found some, whoa, a few planets like that. Sirens, I'm not a fan of those. Okay, well, aside from the corrosive rainstorm that's going on right now, we're here in my first real manufacturing outpost. Well, I guess Tau Ceti, I've got a manufacturing outpost. This one here, though, is producing ionic liquids. They get isotropic coolant? Yeah, that's right, isotropic coolant. I guess my base in Tau Ceti is full, though, which is why nothing's actually being shipped out of here at the moment. As you can see, in this system, I'm now producing aluminum, beryllium, hypercatalyst, neodymium, and isotropic coolant. Wait, that's incoming here. Did I route that to the wrong thing? I don't know. No. I'm confused. Regardless, this system is shipping out these 5 specific things. Tetrafluorides are not supposed to be going here. I put a diagram of this on Twitter to see if anybody could give me any answers. Any answers on why this is happening? Let's go into this. I think it's a bug. Okay, if I go up here. So this is the port right here where I ship in tetrafluorides and hypercatalyst. So that immediately gets offloaded to gas storage in the case of the tetrafluorides, and solid storage, where is it? Right there, in the case of the hypercatalyst. So that means that these two things can only flow in each individual direction, because the gas can only flow to the gas storage, the solid can only flow to the solid storage. Yet somehow, the gas, the tetrafluorides, which are only supposed to be going to this gas storage and then being sent over here to these manufacturing locations to be turned into isotropic coolant, somehow that tetrafluoride is going through the solid storage into the outgoing for this port. I don't know how else to explain it other than maybe this is like overloading this with tetrafluorides and it's spitting it out directly, but even then I've got this store, it goes into a warehouses which are meant to only store manufactured products, so I don't really know how to explain how tetrafluorides are getting from port A to port B while passing through passages they can't possibly pass through. So, I don't know. Whatever the case, maybe oh, that's not good. Looks like, so, I decided that I was going to do a proper setup of my colonies, and the way I started that was by creating a massive gas-producing outpost on Zemka. This is in the Alpha Centauri system. And so I was going to produce an enormous amount of helium-3 from this one outpost and use it to basically fuel my entire fleet of transport ships.
Yeah, definitely keep the helmet on here.
Okay, so go back to tunnel view. Okay, so you can see here that I've been investing in power. I've got reactors, these solar domes. Now, along with that, I've got these 3 industrial-grade helium-3 producers that are going through this small storage to the large storage, over here to the interlink system, which carries the helium-3 to Tau Ceti and out to the rest of the network from there. But the problem is, I think the rest of the network is kind of clogged with materials, which means that the helium-3 is not properly being shipped out throughout the rest of the systems, which is not ideal. I'm going to have to figure out some way to deal with that going forward. Let's go to Tau Ceti 8B. Home to my home colony for the time being until I find the perfect world, because I've considered building my home outpost on any random air, like planet with air and life, but I want to find just the right world before I really set up my final capital world, you know? Alright, so most of what has happened here is that I've increased the amount of storage available on site dramatically. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same as it's always been. We can go to FR, and there we go, B. Okay. So I've simply changed the way that a lot of these ports route and stuff like that. Otherwise, this is mostly the same. And again, I'm just going to have to build more storage and offload these materials from these ports. Otherwise, it's going to keep clogging up the system. Like, you look at this, and I've loaded this thing up with 1,050 helium-3. This is where those materials are coming in from Nera. This one is coming in from Zamka. This is, of course, again, my fuel port. I haven't even connected one of my major outpost nexuses to this system just yet, and that's in the Alpha Tyrna system. So in the Alpha Tyrna system, I have 4 colonies, all of them feeding into Tyrna 8C. Let's go ahead and land there. Or Tyrna. I called it Tyrna when I first saw it, and even though and misspelled it and all that, and then I figured it out that I was doing it wrong, and that was on the first day, and even now, like 2 weeks later, I still keep calling it the wrong thing. Okay, So this was originally my dysprosium mine and lubricant ranch. FRV. Now, we have a couple of water producers here, which go into this water container, which feeds into the ranch here that produces lubricant. It also feeds into the 2 greenhouses. Yeah, 3 greenhouses, that's right. This one produces fiber, which feeds the animals here. This one produces sealant, which then goes into storage. And this one produces fiber, which goes to this port, which ships it to a world that produces gold. And what's the other thing that it produces there? Hypercatalyst? No. Let's just go take a look here. That produced another exotic organic ingredient here in this system. I just can't remember what it is at the moment. Titanium's also being produced here at this location. It's the dysprosium gold adhesive. Adhesive, it's not an exotic, it's a rare. Because Alpha Terna 10A produces, from one of its 2 animal species, they produce sealant. So that's why I've got my outpost here on Alpha Terna 10A. The funny thing is you can build these outposts for organic resources wherever you want on the planet. So Alpha Terna 10A here is basically at the south pole of the planet because I wanted to mine gold. But along with that, I've got this little like ranch house thing over here, which is feeding these herding wriggler geophages, which are in turn excreting lubricant, or not lubricant, adhesive for me to use. So that's the kind of funny thing is Alpha Terna produces both farmable sources of lubricant and adhesive, basically 2 ends of the same spectrum, making things move and making things not move. Then we've got Terna 3. And I'm going to have to figure out exactly where I'm going to put colonies long term. That's a big part of why I'm building up these lists of resources, is because you can only build, I think, 24 colonies total, and there are like 70 resources. So you have to make sure that you are really taking advantage of these things as much as possible. So yeah, this one produces silver. Is there anything else that this thing produces? I cannot actually remember. There's got to be something, because I got gas storage here as well. Fluorine, if I remember correctly. Let's just go to the... Nope. Let's see. There's an extractor around here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Fluorine and silver go into this output link. And that actually doesn't even go directly to Terna 8C. That goes to Terna 8A. Because, again, I'm realizing you have to daisy chain things. You can't just do wheel and hub sort of a thing. Okay. RV. So you can see here I've got cesium being produced here. And along with that, if we go down the hill here, we've got chlorosilanes being produced here. The funny thing is, I started building these colonies out here entirely because of the cesium. I needed it for a single upgrade to my power production capabilities, and that's how all these colonies then got started. So I do have a couple other colonies. Like I said earlier, I got Delta Bavonis. This is where I produce tungsten and lead. Eridani is where currently I'm only producing vanadium because I need that for a couple things, mainly for power production purposes. Alpha Andraste, I do have a colony there. I have not yet hooked it up to the network. This colony here on Alpha Andraste 3 produces biosuppressant, and it actually doesn't produce it properly yet. I am going to have to ship fiber to the Alpha Andraste system because there is not a way to grow fiber in the Alpha Andraste system, but in order to produce the biosuppressant, you have to be able to feed the animals that produce the biosuppressant. I've got colonies on Carone 3A because of the Rothosite. I have not yet hooked that up to the network. And I have a colony on Cassiopeia 1, which currently produces cobalt and nickel. I don't think that one's hooked up to the network yet either. But yeah, so currently I've really only got this connected to that and this. So I really need to be hooking up a lot more of these things to each other. What else should I say now? Because I'm trying to... I think that's probably enough on the colonies for the time being. Why don't I... Actually, I can show you. Well, let's go back to Tau Ceti, because I can show you some of the things there with the colony system. Because I basically have told you about all my colonies, but I can show you what you can start to build once you really do the research and have the perk points where they need to be. My goal is to basically eventually funnel all these resources to industrial worlds where I'm producing really high level stuff. God, I love seeing gas giants in the background like that. It's so freaking amazing. Okay. So, if we go into the colony production. Okay. Extractors. I've now gotten to where you can build industrial grade everything here. The industrial grade extractors don't really look all that much more impressive than the lower ones, but still. These ones look a bit more impressive, as you can see. Industrial grade iron extractor there, or tantalum, same exact profile. Power production, solar array, solar dome. You can see it doubles the amount of power produced. Same thing with wind turbines. Then you got fueled generators. These run off of helium-3. These things right here, the wind turbines, the solar arrays, and the fuel generators are all things you can do right off the bat. Reactors, though, this takes some more tech. Again, this produces 30 power, and then there's the advanced reactors that produce 100 power. And in this case, again, it takes a lot of stuff that I don't even have here at my home base where I keep all of my really high-level exotics. So you can tell this is a really this is really resource intensive here. But you do get something out of it significant, and that it produces 100 power. You can see also that it takes rothosite magnets to build it, and so that's why you need to build your colony on the Carne 3A in order to get the rothosite. Yeah, for a long time I was ignoring the colony system, outpost system, whatever. And now I'm not doing that anymore. Storage, again, you got small, medium, large storage for all these. Okay. And then simple fabricators. I was originally thinking that there was going to be something where it's like you would upgrade the fabricator, but no, it's actually just there's just different kinds of fabricators here. So you get simple fabricators, which builds your baseline components here. So in this case, this is actually what I've currently got operating here. Adaptive frame manufacturing, which is really simple. It just takes aluminum and iron, two really common resources. The austenitic manifold, nickel and iron, and reactive gauges. So in this case, you actually even have to set up another production line first to create those reactive gauges, which are right there. Aluminum and copper. So it's aluminum and copper, then combining with nickel and iron. So you already have to have 4 resources together along with the power in order to produce this. So again, these things are still fairly simple though. Like this is probably going to be like the most complex thing you build with one of these things, the comms array, because it takes multiple things that have to be built at other fabricators. But then you get up to compound fabricators, and that's when you get to a lot more that is involved here. Isotropic coolant, I'm currently producing that myself, you saw, which is produced with tetrafluorides and ionic liquids. And also takes austenitic manifolds, which, as we just saw, was something that took, what was it, nickel and iron or something like that? And reactive gauges. So again, we're talking multiple machines just to get this thing running. And then the exotic ingredient dysprosium, which luckily I do currently produce. But anyway, you can see it as well that you get different things for different things you got to manufacture. Then there's the multiplex fabricator, which produces the most expensive or most complex things here, where you're taking things from the simple fabricators, the complex fabricators, and putting it together along with more exotic materials. Aldamite, for example. I've never seen a specific place that produces aldamite. So my guess is that's probably a unique organic resource. I don't know. Again, once I find it, I'll share its location with everybody. Greenhouses. You go from simple up to commercial, up to industrial. I have yet to build an industrial greenhouse, but I haven't really found the need for it. But along with that, substrate molecular sleeves are not an easy thing to come by. That's actually been what was holding me up most when I was producing my outpost where I'm mining helium-3. If we go here, just this stuff hasn't really changed. Structures, workbenches are the same. I've invested into security, so I can now build these Mark III security turrets and Mark III laser turrets. But these things, again, also take some pretty serious stuff, these tacine superconductors. Robots, I've now gotten from just the basic engineering robot to logistic robots, power management robots, and security robots, including this like weird dog one that runs around and shoots. Let's see, furniture. Yeah, most of the rest of this stuff is the same. The scan booster, I'm not entirely certain how useful this is, because basically, in order for this thing to really make a difference, you have to first build an outpost on a planet that you haven't explored, and then and put this thing in and then explore the planet. But I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I typically explore a planet fully before I build an outpost. Again, maybe I'm the outlier here, but this seems kind of useless. Unless it was something where it's like, this works everywhere from now on once you have this thing. But I don't think that's how that works. Landing pad with shipbuilder. I really actually do want to build one of these at some point. Because you can fit massive ships on these things. And along with that, you can build massive ships with these things. Let's see. Maximum item of this amount. Oh, I've actually been wondering what happens if you do this. Can I delete this? What happens if I delete this? Delete this once the ship leaves. Yes, okay. Well, there you go. That explains that. Which then, can I... Nope, still can't place this. So I'll have to place that when I come back here. Mission boards. This is an interesting one. I don't really exactly understand why they limit you to these two. But there's basically this generic mission board, and then there's the Constellation mission board. I've got both of these here at this outpost. But I have gotten close enough with two other organizations minimum where they will allow me to use the mission board, but I still can't build them at my outpost. I don't really understand why they do it like that. Also, when I do eventually talk about faction quest lines, I'm going to give that like another couple weeks at least, just in case people want to get to there, but without getting the spoilers. There's a mission for the Crimson Fleet where you're supposed to end up with a massive bounty if you go ahead with this one option choice that I went with, and nothing came of it. Now, there's a potential explanation as to why that happened. Hey, Prince Julius. I'm glad you enjoy the videos. There's potentially an explanation as to why that bounty doesn't show up that I would count as legitimate, but they never even talk about it, which is kind of disappointing. I'll just say there's like, it's like I was expecting consequences for my actions and I didn't get them, and I don't know. I was hoping for more. Anyway, I think that's enough on this. I kind of want to show you, what was it there? Oh, where you can buy these resources if you need them. Yeah, no, absolutely. That was something that, by the way, that was what I was not knowing early on. You can enter build mode by holding the scanner and pressing R when you're within the outpost. For the longest time, I was playing the game where I was like, crap, I'm inside my building and I wanted to build some furniture. I guess I gotta go back outside and interact with this thing again so that I can start building. No, you just scanner R, and instead of starting a new outpost, you're building within the outpost. So let's see. Let's go ahead and go to some of the places where I found resources that you can purchase. We'll start with Alpha Centauri, Jemison, and the commercial district. Yeah. Companions thus far, I've only played with 4 technically, all of them constellation related. So I have completed Sarah Morgan's companion stuff. I've completed Sam Coe's stuff, which really is, I need to drop him off here and pick up somebody new. I've completed, I think, about 75% of Barrett's quest line. I need to get him on board, back on board the ship so I can finish his stuff up. And then I've basically confirmed with Andreja that she will travel with me, but I have yet to actually do anything with her. So that's somebody I'm going to be looking forward to. Mathis was a companion I think I temporarily recruited with the Crimson Fleet. Let's just say that they're not... they're not a companion I could pick up at the moment.
Action, I'm no longer able to allocate ships. I can't. Welcome to UC Distribution. Something
Oh,
I can
wow.
do for you?
Are you a member now? That's amazing. Thank you, Prince Julius, for becoming my first member. I will thank you in the next lore video. Let's see what we have here.
I hope we have what you need.
Okay, so she offers resources here. Typically, they're very simple resources. She does have this unique resource, and a couple of exotics, but I don't think she typically has all that much in the way of... okay, memory substrate. That's another unique organic. Okay. I'm looking forward to finding out the source of that one. Yeah, again, she doesn't have anything that's a high-level manufactured resource. But if you're looking for something
Right.
like basic level organic and inorganic materials, come to her. Now, along with that, you can go to, where is it? Cheyenne. And specifically go to Aquila and Aquila City. I'm going to have to find the best way to give you all access to these surveys, because I have found that when I'm searching for them on Twitter, they hashtag Starfield System Survey does not bring up all of them. So I need to find the best way to... I currently have them all on a Google Drive, so I may just share a link to that where you can only view them. But I'm still figuring out the best way to do that, because I'm willing to bet this is something that a lot of people would actually find useful, and I'm willing to bet Google's not really okay with you having huge numbers of people traipsing in and out of a Google Drive constantly. So I may need to find some sort of sharing service. Shepherd's General Store. Here we are.
I get all kinds in here. Feel free to look around.
He has a lot of resources, and a lot of them are higher level manufactured components, like the Aldemite drilling rig here. Adaptive frames, obviously you can make yourself really easily, but he also sells them. Austenic manifolds. All kinds of stuff here. Gastronomic, interesting. I want to find the source of that. I need to find eggs at some point. I've been trying to push forward my gourmet trait for a long time, and I have not really done enough with that. But yeah, again, rare manufactured components, exotic and manufactured components, all that kind of stuff can be found here at this general store. Now, along with that... Yeah, no, people have been supporting me on Patreon, and I absolutely appreciate that. I'm just saying you'll be listed alongside the patrons. Let's see. Okay. So along with that, we can go to Voli, or it's Voli. Okay, Voli is the proper pronunciation. So let's go here to where is it? Yeah, Voli Alpha, and specifically Neon. Neon has a surprisingly good store for resources. I was thinking to myself when I was originally going here, I was like, it's kind of just a city. It's kind of an urban location, surrounded by an ocean. They're probably not going to have the best manufacturing components. I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. Specifically, Sieghart's Outfitters, which there's definitely a secondary quest here that I have not yet done, where one of the merchants does not like Sieghart because he pays Neon's security. To watch his store.
Don't see what you need. Hello there.
But Dietrich here has
I'm sure
some pretty good resources. In fact, look at this. 72 different resources here. So you open this up, and again, he doesn't have everything. Not everyone's always going to have everything you're looking for. But at the same time, he has a lot of stuff, including some very high-level things. So if you're looking for specific things, again, I would point you mostly to Neon and Sieghart's Outfitters, and the general store. I can't remember the name of it. Back in Narian and Aquila and Shan. Hey, Night Spirit, good to see you. Hope you're doing well this week. Let's see. Okay. Trying to think of what else I need to share with you all that I've discovered out here. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm thinking of like the easiest to access shops. Let's see. At some point, I really do want to find out why it is that they decided to have Wolf be their choice of system. That's nice. I actually ended up taking today off to spend more time with my wife, just because she's going to be working the next 3 nights. So I figured, and I've got up until the end of the year something like 8 PTO days that I can still take. So I figured, why not take one today? And so that's why I spent almost all of today surveying different systems, other than when I was spending time with my wife. So let's see. Okay, I can talk. You know what? I actually just remembered I was going to trade out companions back in Jemison. We can. I guess I can ask you all about this. So, having said that, my next lore video on this is going to cover the Xeno Warfare program on Crete. Is there anything that you all would like to see specifically? So basically, this is an open call for requests for Starfield lore videos here. Let's see here. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so you're saying that they chose Wolf because it was a lesser system, and I think you mean by they, the devs. I assume you mean there.
So much.
I have to say, I was surprised when I finished surveying the Cheyenne system, because when I originally visited the Cheyenne system, I only came to see Aquila, and I didn't realize there are actually 3 planets or planets and moons with life here in the Cheyenne system. There's Aquila, there's Kodos, and there's Montara Luna. So these 3 planets all have life on them, and like, yeah, I think only 2 of them have breathable air. Wait, no, is it 3? Yeah, 3 of them have breathable air, so it's just kind of crazy. Yeah, no, the UC definitely lost the colony wars, but I think that was originally set up during the Narian War, which technically was a draw, but when it comes right down to it, the UC won that one. No, yeah. So if you have missed this before, so the way I'm covering the Settlers of Foundation is probably how I'm going to cover really large topics going forward. So I have finished the Crimson Fleet quest line, so I could start covering them now. Again, I'm probably going to wait a couple weeks just in case there are any stragglers that want to get through those things first. But when I do cover it, I will cover it episodically, basically mission by mission, and then I will do a full unabridged version that will cover everything all at once. So yeah, I'll that is probably what I'll start up either late in October or early in November there. But yeah, I'm glad that the 10-minute episodes work, because those things, that makes it so much easier to produce lore videos for people. Yeah, the constant quest line has to be my favorite secondary quest. There are definitely parts of it where they could have done more with it. Specifically things, and I do need to publish an addendum video on that before too long. There are things they could have done more. I think it would have been great if they'd done it, if they'd added a way to actually give the colonists of the Constant, the planet Paradiso, like make it a crazy thing that you have to do to actually make it happen. But it would have been great if they would have actually made it possible for that to happen, and just have like the board members be like, wait, what? We've just been legally kicked out of this place? Yeah, they do have some nice Star Trek uniforms. Yeah, I don't know about 5 million credits. I think the most I've ever had on hand is like 500,000, but that would absolutely be a crazy amount if you got your hands on that. Yeah, they should be able to accept that. Or who knows, maybe you take Crix's legacy. Hopefully not too much of a spoiler for that. But anyway, where was I going to go with this? I forgot what I was getting a new companion. That's right.
We'll be adding some more.
Okay, you.
Hey, if you need something, happy to lend a hand. A pleasure, as always. You know where to find me.
So I will just say this: Sam has a currently broken quest line, at least on the PC. His final quest, Matters of the Heart, I believe is what it's called, cannot be completed. At least I couldn't complete it. I don't know if there's maybe some... Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate the super chats and all that. I got to tell you all right now, I'm currently saving up any donations you all make to purchase a better computer, because as much as this one has done me good for Fallout 76 and for what you can see here in Starfield, I have absolutely been dropping frames. Not dropping frames, the frame rate drops. And I want to record this stuff in as high quality as I can. So as I build up more money in savings from the ad revenue from YouTube and from Patreon, now memberships, thanks to you, Prince Julius, and of course the super chats, Night Spearhead, thank you. That will go to either upgrading my current computer by buying a better GPU, CPU, or it will go to actually buying just a new computer outright in order to get better recorded footage. So let's see. I need to pick up Barrett because I actually want to finish Barrett's quest line. And if this means that Sam's not going to be on my ship constantly with his daughter, don't get me wrong, I like both of their characters, but the fact that I'll be going into a firefight with pirates and Cora's asking her dad, "You gonna read stories to me tonight?" It's like, this... What? We're all just sitting here trying not to die. Can we maybe focus on the fight?
So, you gotta fill me in on what happened at the temple.
Oh.
What happened? What did you see?
Okay, you know what? I will come back to this because in case you... Oh. Can I back out of this? Oh, no. Okay, don't pay any attention to this stuff, y'all. If you don't want any spoilers, I'm just going to skip through this stuff.
By different, Sure, you encountered it... In what? I could call it...
Back in
I could call it...
Oh, okay. Yep, just going to skip
Enough.
this.
Maybe we can
Again,
write
I
some
will come back here and
Anyway,
re-record this at some point because I'm going to need the footage for Barrett, but I don't want any of y'all that are trying to avoid spoilers to see this stuff.
I can't imagine how hard a leader
Oh, come
knows
on.
everything, and I'm proud.
My gosh.
Modest, too. What you did took me...
I apologize for this. Again, if you're trying to avoid spoilers on the main quest. Oh, good lord. And this, again, spoilers on other quests here.
All thank...
Oh, my gosh.
That's the hope in the dream. But if they do... Dusty. You know, I need it.
Okay. Oh, my good lord. Come with me.
Vasco
That's
never-
all I need.
I told him all about...
Oh, come on.
Oh, we got to point B. Anyway, I'm glad you're here. I heard back from my... They looked into it. And that's not all.
Why did
Turns
I
out,
continue the
thanks to our
conversation? Okay, let me just... I apologize. I will come back to do all this
Okay.
stuff later. Thank you. Yeah, my microphone is a... it's a Yeti Blue. I bought this 3 years ago at this point, I think. Something like that. Maybe even longer. But yeah, it has served me well. Glad you like it. Let's see. Sam and Cora. Yeah, I like Sam and Cora. No, yeah. The Bethesda absolutely has the tendency to have it be the case where it's like... There's like giant world-ending monsters attacking, and it's like... Do you even know who I am? You know, these people in the background where it's just like, oh, snobs. Just trying to go about their normal daily life without realizing that they're about to die. There's definitely a whole lot of stuff like that with the... man, what is it called? Whatever the vampire DLC is called in Skyrim. That was... the way that integrates in the game is so crazy to where it's like... As soon as you hit, I think, level 15 or something like that, suddenly the cities are being swarmed with vampires. I cannot tell you the number of times I've had random civilians just die because they were unfortunately in a town... Dawn Guard. Because they were unfortunately in a town when I happened to hit that level. And then suddenly everyone's getting swarmed. No, yeah, people have definitely pointed out the fact that the characters on board the Constant are definitely wearing uniforms that are reminiscent of Star Trek. Let's see. I will come back to get Barrett at some other point. And again, I will have to reload the save. Where is even the most recent save? In fact, I should probably just load that right now and make sure I save that so that I don't lose it later. Because I will absolutely have to come back here. In order to record that content for Barrett and his eventual video. I could definitely do a video on Sarah Morgan now. That might be what I do for my next video after the Crete Xeno Warfare Lab. You know, the funny thing is, some people would consider that to be biological warfare. There's a book I read, I can't remember the name of it exactly. I'll definitely bring it up when I talk about it in the lore video, because I will absolutely bring it up in the lore video. But when you look at Narion and Crete, and what they were trying to do there, what the United Colonies was doing with their Xeno Warfare program, throughout human history, we have used... sorry, one second. I just noticed a bunch of comments here. I have not gotten Betty Hauser as a companion just yet. I need to continue watching Star Trek. I've watched the first season and a half of the original Star Trek, and I'm going through the Star Treks in order. That's my goal. Currently, because I've seen people recommending it, I've been watching some of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I've been enjoying. But anyway, where was I? Okay, so the Xeno Warfare program here is actually a lot like programs that they've run on Earth before. Specifically, I mean, you can go back to World War II with the bat bombs that the United States was attempting to put together. But you can go even further back to the war between the, what is it called? The Carthaginians and the Romans, to where the Carthaginians would use war elephants, and the Romans decided to counter that by getting together a bunch of pigs, covering them in pitch, lighting them on fire, and sending them squealing, running into the ranks of the elephants, and it scared the elephants to the point where they couldn't do combat. Along with that, the first time that horses and camel-backed cavalry encountered each other, the horses were so offended by the smell of camels that they refused to charge into the battle against them. So I can't remember what army this was, but they started quartering a camel with their horses in order to make sure that that didn't happen going forward. Along with that, you've got the Mongols using biological warfare, and in this case, more realistically, like what we would call biological warfare now, throwing plague corpses over the walls of Constantinople. That's a good thought as to how the Black Death started. You got crazy stuff in the past, like temples that the Romans and the Greeks used to keep filled with mice. There's a thought that the Antonine Plague was potentially started by a temple that had a bunch of disease plague rats and mice and stuff like that they were keeping for one of their gods. So there's a whole bunch of really interesting stuff. Probably one of the worst ones in this book talks about the Scythians, who used to take a leather sack and they'd kill a snake, a poisonous snake, and they'd put this in the sack, and they'd load it up with feces and blood, and they would seal the sack and bury it in the ground, let it sit there for months. And then they would dig this sack up, and they would basically take this mess, this stuff that had been stewing in anaerobic bacterial fermentation for months, and then they would dip their arrows into it. And they would fire these arrows at people, and it was this case where you get hit by one of these arrows, even if it nicks you, you're probably going to die. Because you've got a combination of snake venom, you have E. coli, you have tetanus, you've got all kinds of really nasty chemical and biological agents within this poison that are just really, really, really nasty. Yeah, no, I mean, the history of warfare is absolutely fascinating. It's something that I have really always enjoyed studying, just to see just how creative humans can be when we're trying to kill each other. It's one of those things where it's like, I enjoy human creativity, and one of the places where we get our most creative is when we're trying to kill each other. So something interesting here in the Lunara system, I'm not sure how many people have noticed this. Some people have been pointing out this planet here called Petria, which I believe is some sort of reference to some science fiction, fantasy, something like that. I don't know specifically. I haven't looked that up myself. I've just seen people saying like, oh, there's a planet called Petria. So if we come down here, this, though, is definitely a Lovecraftian reference down here. We got the planet Sitol. Along with that, we have Uvan Nyarlath, which is like Nyarlathotep. And then Asvalach. I don't know exactly what all of these are referencing other than Nyarlathotep right there. Or Nyarlatha or something like that. But this is definitely... so I think that this system here, Lunar, is potentially filled with just different... like Nubador, and you got Romulus and Remus. There's just all kinds of references in this system. So I don't know what all of them are. I'm going to have to look up some of them. But it seems pretty clear to me that there have to be some references to different things. Reva's world, for example, this has to be a reference to something. I don't know specifically what, but it's one of those things where it's like I could see someone like being like, "Ah, yes, I'm Reva. This is my world." But why you would choose this barren, airless world to be like the planet that's named after you, No, I think this has to be some sort of reference. Yeah, Romulus and Remus definitely for Rome, or the Romulans if you want to go ahead with that. I in the original series, I've just gotten past the point where they've met the Romulans, or they've introduced the Romulans for the first time in the show. I mean, so interesting thing there. I love the concept of that species having been like originally one with the Vulcans and eventually having split off from them through, like, I don't know exactly what happened, the collapse of their colonial network or something like that. I've always loved that kind of concept of science fiction where it's like lost connections and stuff like that. Let's see. Anything else that I wanted to share with y'all with these systems? Nicola. No interesting resources in this system. In fact, I think this is one of the more boring systems in that I don't think there are any exotic resources anywhere in this system. Just odd. Like, typically I expect, unless it's a system with only 1 or 2 planets in it, I expect to find at least one exotic resource. There you go. Okay, this one does have plutonium. I must be thinking about another system. What was it? Potentially Newton, maybe? Again, Newton has really interesting wildlife, but not all that interesting of resources. Yeah, I think this is the system with that. Yeah. No, like there are rare resources, but no exotic resources here. Okay, settled by a generation ship. That's interesting. Which is, again, we have a generation ship here in the case of the Constant. I wonder if the Constant's still in their orbit. Let's go check that out. Where did Porma? Well, looks like it's still there. Let's check it out. This is so weird because there are people that... Okay, so I originally released this video on September 8th. And it took like a week for this video to blow up. And when it did, it blew up big. Oh yeah, I've still got them with me. Let me look at this. So if you all are not aware, Lost in Time, my Starfield lore video covering the ECS Constant, is now my most popular video. It's at 96,900 views. It's gained me something like, why don't we see exactly the number here? It has gained me 565 subscribers. So again, easily my biggest video on my channel. Weirdly enough, that has not transferred over to my other Starfield lore videos. I don't really know exactly why. I have 2 other Starfield lore videos currently. My one covering the Ground Pounders mission on Altair 2 is currently sitting at 2,000 views, and my video covering the what's it called? Lost in Communication side quest has 717 views. Again, I don't know why exactly these things are like this. But there was somebody like a week after I released that video that said, yeah, the Constant left the orbit above Porma 2, and they found it in another system. And it's like, again, I've been going on with this ship sitting in orbit here for about a month now, and it's still sitting in the orbit of Porma 2, despite the fact that I have, provided them with a gravity drive. So I don't really know what conditions are required for them to leave orbit. But I've also done 10 of the side quests there, or not side quests, Radiant quests for Abe Levitz, bringing letters to people, specifically 8 times to Red Mile, which, I don't know. It was New Homestead, then Red Mile, then Neon, then Red Mile, Red Mile, Red Mile, Red Mile, Red Mile, Red Mile. It's like, mix it up a little bit, guys. I have heard that you can find Janet Yang on Jemison in the in New Atlantis. Now I need to look into that. Yeah, I don't doubt Sarah doesn't like the Red Mile. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, yeah, the YouTube algorithm is absolutely a quirky one. I don't know exactly why again it has given me so much with one and so little the other ones. It could just be as well that those are side quests and people are looking for other content right now, and that's probably more so likely what is going on there. So in the future, again, I'm going to start producing more content on more mainline stuff here rather than just the side stuff. And specifically, currently I'm still flying the Frontier. But specifically, I've been covering side quests that you just basically find in the world as you explore. And I basically have run out of those, which is why I'm going to have to go to other content as well. Custom design, and it's a mix.
A haiku.
Technically speaking, I would have to say it's. Let's. I can do. Let's do toggle free cam. And okay.
Sounds exciting. Let's hear it.
So, this is my version of the. Oh my good lord, Cora. Okay. So it has a Class B reactor on board. It has additional storage, as you can see there and there. Along with that, it has these extra engines on the back because I was having trouble getting enough propulsion with the engines that I had. And then I've got upgraded engines on the sides. And along with that, I have a upgraded shield generator, upgraded fuel tanks, better lasers, a better defense cannon here. And then along with that, I have a upgraded missile launcher here. Now, I also have these two modules that come from the Crimson Fleet quest line, but I won't talk about specifically what those are if you don't know what they are, so that I don't end up spoiling them for you. Yeah, so I think what I'm going to end up doing, if you're talking about... I've seen people talking about the Mantis ship a lot. I don't know if that's what you're flying there. I'm eventually going to check that one out. My current plans, actually, for the moment, and I might do this later tonight. In fact, I think... Yeah, we did delete that site. We did delete the landing pad when we were just there, so let's head back to Tau Ceti 8B. My plan is to build myself a colony ship, which is to say a ship with enough storage that I can basically load all of my resources on board it all at once. Oh, I thought I'd... What the hell? Didn't I... I thought I deleted this last time I was here. Okay, this is odd. What the... It's not even letting me delete it. Okay. Well, that's a little bit odd. Why don't I see if I can just build the other ship pad. There it is. Nope. I don't know. Well, why don't we go to another world that I have a colony on? Except for I don't have my resources there. Anyway, my goal here is to build a colony ship where I can take all the resources out of all these containers, load it up into that ship, take it wherever I want, and build whatever I want, without having to be concerned about constantly slowing down because I'm over-encumbered. So it's going to be a Class C ship. I think I've built up enough resources that I could take care of it now. How much cash do I have again? Nearly 600,000. That should be able to handle it. I have heard that if you build a ship, if you build one of these ship pads at your own colony, and you... Let's see about this. Hold up. Can I go here? Let's try this. Let's try landing there. It's like right next door. Nope. Let's see if this is the one that's right next door. But basically, I've heard if you build one of the shipbuilding pads at your own base, you can use all of the different modules. Okay, so let's see. Also, I've missed some comments here. I will say that I tried... Okay, is this... Oh, come on. So basically, for a while there, when I'd built up the colony over there, my ship would land over here. So it was this pain in the ass where I'm carrying all these resources across the surface in order to get all of them over to my outpost. And then I finally ended up building that landing pad at my outpost. But now the ship is still not landing in the right spot. Is that what my outpost looks like from a distance? That is odd. Yeah, by the way, Tau Ceti 8B has some really weird wildlife on it. Like this mayfly filterer. Okay, well, at least everything's showing up now. I don't know what to do right now with this. Last time I told it to delete it, and it was supposed to be the case that it went away as soon, like, when we left, but now it's back, and now I can't delete it. So, why don't we just, yeah, I don't know. I'll figure that out some other time. Okay. Let's see. Well, it's now past 7 o'clock. Do you all have anything, so, real quick, for the last 3 minutes or so before we close things out here. Again, any requests you all have for specific lore videos? Currently, at the moment, I have plans for the Xeno Warfare program, companion quests, the Crimson Fleet quest line. But is there anything else that you all are looking for in that case? Again, in the Fallout area, I'm going to finish up the Settlers of Foundation stuff. Then I'm going to do the Metro system in Fallout 3. At least I think that's what it's going to end up being, because the poll on that, I think that was the one that was winning last time I checked that. Let's see. The poll for the next lore video. Yes, the Metro system is currently beating out the history of hallucinogen in Fallout 4. So yeah, I'm like, if you didn't see it earlier, I am planning on doing the UC Vanguard quest line because I need to get more information on the Terramorphs. I believe that's where that information is. If not, then again, I'll just get some more information from the game, even if it's not specifically what I'm needing. But along with that, I'm going to continue doing these surveys. I was in the middle of doing the survey of the Lunara system, which... One thing I want to say real quick before moving on, and I know that it's one of those things where I'm pretty sure these are things that are encountered within the quest lines, but I have to say that I am slightly disappointed that it's not more obvious where the massive battle sites are of history, because, like, for example, Nira is supposed to have been, according to the tour, the history tour within the UC Vanguard area, like, Nira should be basically... just like a radioactive wasteland or something like that. A place that was, like, completely destroyed. But, like, the only thing that I see here that's potentially anything like that is that it has a toxic standard M atmosphere. Maybe it originally had an oxygen atmosphere. I don't really know. It also says charred ecosystem, but that's typically something that comes from within the Earth rather than for something that's been done to it. And then along with that, if we go up to... again, Lunara, which is where I was surveying. Sorry, I read that comment right there. Okay, that's what I was hoping would be the case, that you can visit specific battleground locations in the UC quest line. Because, like, you go to Vesta, and it's supposed to be like, Vesta, the place that started the colony war. The entire planetary population was destroyed. And I'm like, there are no landing spots. Like, other than the one that I put down when I was going to see, like, is the surface, like, all destroyed and stuff like that? It's like, no. Which I wasn't expecting a fully destroyed surface, because they'd only set up a farming colony here, but, and I don't know, maybe that's it right there. Maybe this, like, almost crater-looking thing is the home of that original outpost. But, I don't know. I will say, and I don't know if other people have this same exact thing whenever they visit specific systems. I think it's Groombridge. Yes, Groombridge... right here, it has this battlefield wreckage. I don't know if everybody else has this. I think some of these things are occasionally things you only find yourself, and it's kind of randomized. And the weird thing is, this doesn't look all that different from when you jump to some planets and they just kind of have debris floating like this from like old space stations and stuff like that. And there's nothing really even to find here that I've found. Like, I was expecting maybe like a derelict ship or something like that. But the fact that it actually had a link to a specific spot as battlefield wreckage, I thought was interesting. But... Alright, so again, any more requests you all have? Groombridge is an interesting system. In fact, why don't I... Before closing things out, I'll bring up the photo gallery here. And all the way down here. So, this was in Groombridge. I liked the lighting here in this situation. This is Groombridge 8A or something like that. And then, yeah, this is the photo that I submitted for Starfield's, like, spots in space that inspire you to explore things. And so I thought this was a nice look here. The image of me in the bottom left corner is covering up a bit of this creature here. But otherwise, you can see most of the background here. Okay. Well... I think we'll close things out here. I'll probably finish surveying the Lunara system, and then I'm going to get to work on that Starfield lore video, again, hoping to get that thing out Monday. My wife again works all night tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday night, so I am going to be fairly free in the evenings, so I'm hoping that I can actually get some serious work done, get this thing out by Monday. So... yeah, and again, I really do appreciate you joining as a member, Prince Julius, and Knight Spearhead. Again, thank you for the super like. So, I mean, I was glad to. I will absolutely give her a kiss. It was great to see y'all, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you all enjoyed the lore video when it comes out, and I will see you all next week. So, have a good first to second week of October, y'all.